Hey everyone, John Lorden here. Welcome to a new episode of Brainscratch Searchlight. Before I start this one, I want to thank all of you brain scratchers out there that were letting me know about this case. There's a lot of you that are very upset about what's going on with this case. I totally agree with you guys, and I wanted to help raise exposure to it as quickly as possible. It's not typical that we cover Amber Alert cases like this. I'm just hoping I can get this kind of done and posted in time so that we could potentially help influence the outcome here. But this is a very troubling case. We have two young women that are missing, and their mother, we know, is dead. And the roommate that was living with them is also missing. It's a very scary situation, especially when you look into the past of this roommate. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it and see if there's something we can do to hopefully help bring these girls back home. This is a case that takes place in Texas. They lived in an area called Round Rock. It is a city in Williamson County, which is part of the greater Austin, Texas metropolitan area. Population is just under 100,000 as of the 2010 census. As you can see here on the map, it's not quite in the exact center, but pretty close to the center of the state of Texas. And let's learn about the girls that are missing. I've seen her name referred to as Lili frequently. I think that's her nickname, but it looks like her name is Lili is kind of what I'm guessing, or Lili Griffith. She's been missing since December 30th of 2017 from Round Rock, Texas. She is only 14 years old, female, white with light brown hair, brown eyes. She is about 5 feet tall and weighs around 100 pounds. And I don't know why, but I'm seeing in many different articles that they are getting her height wrong. They keep saying that she's 5'10" and 100 pounds. She's certainly not 5'10" based on the pictures that I've seen of her with her younger sister. Let's go ahead and move on to her younger sister, Lulu Bandera-Magret, also missing since December 30th, 2017, 7 years old, female, white with brown hair, brown eyes, 4 feet 5 inches tall, and she weighs about 75 pounds. On top of that, we have someone else to consider in all this, and that is the roommate that is missing with them. Police are considering him a person of interest at this case, not exactly a suspect. They have been very clear that the mother of these two young women, it is a suspicious death. They haven't really released an official cause yet. Apparently the autopsy is currently underway. So we don't have exact details about how she died, but police are already very concerned about the manner in which she did die. So Terry Miles is another person we're looking for in this, missing since December 30th, 2017, 44 years old, male, white, brown hair, hazel eyes, about 6 feet 2 inches tall, and weighs around 200 pounds. There's also a vehicle description we will get to as well. So let's start with KXAN.com, who's put together a bit of a timeline about the events leading up to this. We're going to learn that there's a couple of events before this that might be a little important that aren't included in this list. But Saturday, December 30th, 2017, police were dispatched to do a welfare check that was actually called in by Tanya Bates's coworker. Tanya Bates is the mother of these girls. They went to the home. They didn't find anything suspicious at the time, and they left. Now, it's not being very clear here, but I'm assuming that they basically stopped by, they knocked on the door, no one answered the door, and they just left. Of course, they wouldn't have probable cause at that point to actually, go into the home or to further investigate it. That same day, December 30th, around 8:30 p.m., now Tanya's boyfriend actually called the police department worried because she wasn't responding, and neither were her two daughters. Police once again went back out. Once again, didn't find anything suspicious. They noted that there was not a vehicle at the house and no one opened the door to the home. Now, this point is kind of interesting. I'm not sure how accurate this is, but it's saying Sunday, December 31st around noon is the last time the girls were seen in Round Rock. And I'm seeing it reported kind of different ways. I mean, just the information that we covered back at missingkids.org, this is the official website for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, notes that they've been missing since December 30th. So unless there's possibly a sighting where they might have been with Terry, maybe someone that knew them saw them leaving or driving in an area, something along those lines. I don't know why they wouldn't have gone missing on December 31st, according to this. But like I said, perhaps it was a sighting of the whole group together. Sunday, December 31st, undisclosed time, police discover Bates's body inside her home. I did listen to the police chief talking about this. I'll leave a link to it in the description box below so you can listen to his presentation about this as well. But essentially, he's saying that they discovered enough information where they felt like they should enter the home. They entered the home. They found Tanya deceased, mysterious circumstances around her death, and her daughters were missing, and this roommate were missing, as well as the vehicle that we will get into the details on. Sunday, December 31st, 2017, around 10 p.m., the Amber Alert was issued for the two missing girls who police say was taken by Terry Allen Miles, 44. Authorities have not indicated how Bates died. And here we're going to get into some information about the vehicle. Texas, it's a 2017 Hyundai Accent with Texas license plate JGH9845. The car has a hatchback with a white sticker on the upper right-hand corner of the rear window. On this article over at kktv.com, they also interviewed a neighbor. They basically lived in, they're referring to it as a duplex, but typically where I live, it's more frequently called a twin home. It looks like there's a neighbor on the left and the right, but the two houses are connected in the center. This neighbor has kind of appeared in the press quite a bit. He's talking about this a lot. One next door neighbor in Texas said Miles was often at the home and he believed that he lived with Bates and the two girls. Police described Miles as a roommate of the victim. They're also saying that there is no romantic involvement between Miles and Bates. And we do know that it's her boyfriend that actually called in the second welfare check. Reed is the name of the next door neighbor. Reed says he would have never expected something like this to unfold in this neighborhood. However, he said there was a red flag a week before the suspicious death and Amber Alert. They had a call come in for a domestic dispute. They thought it was us, but it wasn't us, so I guess it was next door, Reed said. Round Rock police would not confirm this call. So there's possibly some events leading up to this that might show that something bad is going on in this house. Here is the type of car, the 2017 Hyundai Accent, and we actually also have a photo of the vehicle from the back. So here we have the license plate once again, and the sticker, which I can't really make out. Kind of looks like a football helmet to me, but I don't think that's right. But it's kind of a white blobby sticker in the upper right-hand corner of the hatchback. So between those two pictures, I think you get a fairly good idea of what this vehicle looks like. Moving forward to denverpost.com, police initially believed the group to be headed for Louisiana, and I believe they thought that because it looks like Terry Miles actually has some history in Louisiana. We're going to touch on that in a while as well. But on Monday, officers said that the group, all three of them, may have been seen in northern Mexico and possibly southern Colorado. And this gets really interesting here. Initially, of course, I was thinking, yeah, possibly he's heading to Louisiana. He's trying to get someplace familiar. If we run a Google map on that, we can see that that is 300 miles. That is a drive that he could do in possibly about 5 hours. And if they really went missing on December 30th, he would have easily been there by the 31st. Now they're saying that they have potential sightings in northern New Mexico or the southern part of Colorado right through here, which definitely leads me away from him going back to his old hometown of Sulphur. Now, we do know that he has family. I believe he has a son that lives in the San Bernardino area in Southern California. That's somewhere down about here. So even if he was heading directly that way, which I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, you'd figure that the authorities are going to be looking for you at places where they could easily track you down like that. But even if he was going to go there, I don't know why he's shooting so far north. And quite honestly, everyone, I'm concerned that he might be heading for Canada. That's just kind of what I'm seeing in terms of the flow of the direction that's here. Or potentially he's literally just on the run and he's just driving and he doesn't know where he's necessarily going to go. I'd like to hope that for Amber alerts like this, that all of the border authorities are notified and they're looking for people in cases like this. I don't know the logistics of that. I don't know how reasonable it is to believe that the borders would essentially be locked down for someone like this in this type of situation. Maybe that's something we should dive into a little more on the channel if I can find an expert to help us with that. But pretty interesting. Initially, they thought he was going east. Now it seems like they think he's going northwest. But once again, we don't have really good details on these sightings. We don't have any details about how solid these sightings are. Are these highway cameras that are picking up the license plate potentially? It could be really solid. The way that police are talking about this, it seems like it's a solid sighting. They're not saying that, we think that they've been spotted or, we have some tips being called in from that area. They might be in this area. Just the phrasing of what we are hearing seems like they are fairly certain that there was some sighting in between New Mexico and Colorado here. Is he heading towards family in Southern California? I don't know. It's one of those things that's really tough to try to pin down. And as we've seen in cases before where people kind of go on the run like this, they could wind up in some very strange places that you just can't anticipate because they're not really related to the person's previous life. Speaking of, let's get a little bit of information. You might have seen on the map that I marked Sulphur. He lived in Sulphur, Louisiana for a bit of time. This is from sulphurdailynews.com, and this is something that was posted back in April of 2009, basically kind of like a police blotter, kind of like a report on, local happenings within the police department there. Terry Allen Miles, age 35 of Maplewood Drive, Sulphur, was arrested and booked into the Sulphur City Jail for second-degree battery, resisting arrest, and illegal possession of a firearm. I'm already concerned about this situation just from the facts we know, but once you start getting information like this here, this guy might have a history of violence like we believe is going on here. It really raises it for me. It's definitely part of the reason why I wanted to cover this and get this information out as quickly as possible. Jumping over to kplctv.com. This is an article back from 2011. Sulphur police served a warrant for attempted second-degree murder to Terry Allen Miles, 38 of Sulphur. Police say he was in a domestic dispute with his then live-in girlfriend, whom was beaten with a blunt object and strangled to the point of unconsciousness. This was not the first time Miles had been charged with domestic abuse. So I think there's even more history than we're seeing that are available in these articles that we've been able to find. And I do want to give a very quick thank you to all the people working hard over at Web Sleuths on this. Their links helped point me in the direction of some of this history around Terry here. And I'm just really concerned, guys. I hope that if you have something you can do out there to help raise exposure to this case, please do it. Please talk to your friends about it. Make sure everyone's aware of this vehicle that we're looking for, this 2017 gray Hyundai Accent. I just wanted to finish off this video with also talking a bit about the life that was lost in all this. And it's not typical that we have a Searchlight where we have a murder kind of built into the case at an early stage like this. This is over at kvue.com. It's just a little information about Tanya Bates. St. David's Round Rock confirmed to KVUE Tuesday that Bates was an employee at their hospital. Quote, "We are grieving the tragic loss of Tanya Bates, a member of our St. David's Round Rock Medical Center family. As a patient care technician at the hospital, Tanya spent her days caring for patients, and we will carry on her legacy by doing what she loved, caring for our community." So outside of the fact that these two beautiful girls have lost their mother, it seems like the community has also lost someone that was really helping people in need, and that is truly terrible. This is the picture that also kind of raised the question for me about this whole 5'10" thing with Lili. Obviously, if you look at this picture, you can see there's not that big of a difference between the two girls, and it's reasonable to believe that it's a matter of 7 or 8 inches that's different between them, which would certainly put her at 5 feet tall. So. Outside of that, like I mentioned, the article at HuffingtonPost.com has the link to the police talking about this. So if you want to check that out, I recommend it. I think I've covered most of the high points on it, but there might be something in the details that you get differently from it than I did. So I will have this link down below. Like I said, also big thank you to Web Sleuths. I'll have a link to their thread that is going on this in the description box below, which is growing by the hour. Though some people here are kind of concerned that for some reason the level of attention doesn't seem to be usual, at least for the Web Sleuths thread. So I'm just hoping that you out there will help raise the exposure on this case as well. And finally, I just wanted to leave with this photo of Lili, Lulu, Mr. Terry Miles, who, please keep in mind at this point, we don't know much about what's going on, but we know that he is being considered a person of interest from the police. They really want to talk to him about what's going on. Also, of course, the 2017 gray Hyundai Accent with the Texas plate JGH 9845. If you do happen to see them, I would highly recommend that you call 911 immediately. Try to get some information to local authorities about where they are, because it's likely that it's going to be someone possibly in a state that we're not even anticipating here. So I do have contact information down below. There is a tip line that's been set up, and then I have a phone number for the Round Rock Police Department also down below. But if you see them, try to get immediate eyes on where they are, where they're going. If you can relay to 911 the direction that they're traveling in, what highway they're on, any information that might help police actually track them down. I personally want this situation shut down as quickly as possible. Just looking at the history that we're talking about on this guy, looking at a situation where, if nothing else, it seems like his roommate has been killed, and for some reason he decides to take the two girls. I already struggle with what these girls have seen. I hope that they did not see their mother killed by this man. But outside of that, who knows what his intentions are with these two girls? Who knows how he is going to act or respond, particularly if he feels like maybe, people are getting close to catching him or something along those lines. It's a very volatile situation, and I truly hope that one of you out there or someone out there recognizes them, gets this information into police, and they can shut this situation down quickly and make sure those girls are safe and get them out of this. Right now, Round Rock Police are assuming that these girls have been taken by him, that it's not their decision to go with him. So this certainly seems like a kidnapping situation the way we're looking at it right now. Frequently in cases like this, things move very fast. So if I do see any updates on this, I will likely just shoot some shorter update videos throughout the week on it. And once again, thank you for being part of this community that cares about these cases. Thank you for raising this case to my attention so quickly. And I truly hope there's something we can do to help Lili and Lulu. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you back here tomorrow on the Lord and Arch channel.